Welcome back to the saga. This saga gets interesting. Here we have Elon Musk. He has called Nick Fuentes a Fed. Nick Fuentes shows up, ratios him. And so here we have more of the drama. Now, if this was as I suspect, if it was as I suspected, then it would be, I don't know, the who's who of the top assets and pawn pieces and whatever, the bishops and the queens and knights. They would all be mobilized to signal boost this person, to bump them. Elon saying anything, taking time out of his day to say anything about anyone is probably something. It probably means something. Like when Elon said that the reason why the Epstein files haven't come out is because Donald Trump is in them, and then he apologized for it or whatever. Is that just the heebie-jeebies trying to deal with their karmic strain? Is that predictive programming? Is it like a signal boost test? Is it like to test the system, like a shock test to see? I don't know. But I do know that in my suspicion that's been running for a couple months now, maybe over a year, maybe half a year. If it was, that he's actually a Fed and an asset, this is exactly what you would expect to see. So I don't know. Maybe he's not a Fed. Maybe he's organic. Maybe. But man, this system just really does have this weird level of coordination behind the scenes and between people who supposedly are not a part of the system or have bucked the system. I've heard Sam Hyde and other people who I do appreciate. I respect Sam Hyde. I think he's funny. I like his content, I like his podcast. But I've heard him say that Elon buying Twitter was something they didn't expect, and that he doesn't, he's not trying to go so deep like Charles is or others to go deep into the weeds, the far schizo theory, but the idea that this trillionaire, I think he's a trillionaire, can we call him a trillionaire? This multi-billionaire, one of the richest people in the world, isn't a part of the system and was just allowed to organically buy Twitter, the biggest social media platform. No. No. You mean the place where the president of the United States can shill his shit coins and can talk shit about deep state, whatever the hell? You mean that place? They just organically let it fall into the hands of just so happens to be he named the company that he's associated with most is probably Tesla, right? And maybe Nikola Tesla himself, well, there's a whole rabbit hole that maybe even he didn't exist. And maybe he was just a front man designed to explain where all this reverse engineered ancient technology came from. There's a whole angle on that. But Nikola Tesla, his autobiography, his stuff, his history, even if it is true, it is significantly different from this guy. Night and day different. Nikola Tesla was the mad scientist up on the hill, just a genius, inspired by angels, just given divine enlightenment into how things work, and then he just would build crazy things and come up with them, and then he was just a maverick, a wild card that JP Morgan and Westinghouse and all those other guys couldn't really understand or fully control, despite their efforts. And the idea that Elon Musk is one of those geniuses, just is amazing genius. Nobody can expect what he's going to do. And nobody, think what happened to Nikola Tesla. Think what they did to that genius. If he was a real genius and a real person, then it seems like what they did is they shut him down every chance they got, because his ideas about energy that can travel over the airways through the ether, through essentially free energy for the people, over unity or whatever you want to call it. That idea wasn't good for JP Morgan, who had invested a shitload into the lumber and copper industry. So, of course, he had to go with the grid system, which utilized poles, power lines. Those are everywhere. You almost don't even see them. If you drive again, you'll look around. They are fucking everywhere. When you're coming up to an Amish neighborhood or an Amish house, because there's no power lines in front of it. There's no power poles. But all that copper and wood and lumber it's huge. It's a massive, massive payout from the U.S. government. That's how these rackets work. And so the idea that Elon Musk, who has so much time that he can be one of the best players in Diablo in the world, that he has the time to also do that and just come up with these amazing ideas and inventions. And literally, it's not rocket science. It's literally rocket science. It's literally rocket science. So I don't know. I think if Elon calls you a Fed, it means that you're a Fed and that they're trying to do some 4D chess, just some basic subversion of expectations. So I think they're not going to waste their time. If he knows that calling anyone anything doesn't really do much. Like, how many Elon fanboys are out there that were also on the fence about Nick Fuentes and now they're pushed over? I don't know how many. I doubt that many. I would imagine if you gargle everything that Elon says, if you're just a glazer, then it doesn't matter if he says he's a Fed or not. You're just going to believe it. You just whatever Elon says, because Elon can do no wrong in your eyes. So I don't think he's convincing anyone. I think what he's really doing is convincing more people who were on Nick's side that he actually isn't a Fed. Because Elon, who they think is a Fed, is calling him a Fed. And then he wouldn't say that unless blah, 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 blah. This is 4D, 5D chess. I don't think so. I don't think he's a Fed. I don't think this makes him a Fed. I think if anything, this is an indicator, or I don't think this makes him not a Fed. If this is anything, this is an indicator that he is in fact a Fed. And that they love to just call it like it is and then pretend like it's a joke or use their most flamboyant clowns to fight their silliest battles. I don't know. But anyways, the Nick Fuentes saga continues. I'm sorry that it's a lot of Nick Fuentes focus recently. I just kind of feel like this is the most interesting season or development in this whole political sphere, is watching how they're, in my opinion, they're scripting the Overton window shifting. They're scripting a controlled handoff of liberalism to this weird sort of like centric conservatism that we've had for the last 5 years or whatever, at least during Donald's presidency. And then we're gonna hand that off, shift that over into more of a nationalistic angle. And though they will utilize the people's natural annoyance, because it's a more of a low-level, superficial issue, this annoyance. I mean, it's not fully superficial, but like immigrants and illegals that aren't anywhere near you committing crimes is annoying. It's really fucking annoying. It doesn't actually affect a lot of people. It's not the number one issue. It's not fractional reserve interest loan banking or anything, but it is fucked up. And so things that are fucked up and annoying are easy for them to then shift their cosmetics, which is just a superficial layer of their political campaigns, their political platforms, while keeping the main meat the same. And the main meat is they will control, they will retain it. They will just shift the color of the reins, they'll shift the color of the signs, they'll shift the color of the banners, but it will be them waving it every time. That's my theory. I'm sticking to it. It's one of the tabs I keep open. Take it all with a grain of salt. Maybe I'm retarded. Maybe it is an organic battle and we're watching it play out. That would be kind of sad if this is what our best organics has. But it is 2025, and I don't know, most people think the world is hopeless. I don't think so. I think it's all just an illusion. It's a show that if you subscribe to it, you get to enjoy the show. So that's my thoughts. Take everything with a grain of salt. Be a good person. Peace. Call your mom.